Alright guys, the Spurs eliminate the Wolves, the Pistons force Game 7, also there's a sponsor in this one, and we will start with the Spurs and the Wolves for a bit. For the third year in a row, I either underestimate or overestimate the Wolves. I can never just be correct about this team, except for when they lost to OKC. I got caught up in, right after the Nuggets series, they won Game 1 of this series, I'm sorry to the Spurs. If it wasn't for the Wemby injection, this thing ends in 5 games. I mean, this game was just basically summing up all the games in this series that the Spurs won, with the wrinkle of we saw Gobert guarding Castle in the beginning of the game, which I did bring up at the end of the last video, but I did not say it would work, okay? I mean, Castle, 33% from 3 in the regular season, 40% from 3 in these playoffs, and also, just like the Blazers series, drive on Gobert, middle of the floor, run a backdoor cut for Wemby. Castle can comfortably throw him the lob. It felt like Castle, Fox, Harper, like they just had no resistance at all, is what it felt like tonight. We get the short jumpers, we get the floaters, whatever, because we don't want to really challenge Wemby. We got Wemby making Terrence Shannon pass it to Gobert under the rim and then also blocking Gobert. We got Wemby's playing off of Nas. Nas misses a 3. Io's passing out of Wemby. Shannon's wide open. He misses the 3. Gobert and Randall, Nas and Randall. We're more spaced out. We're less spaced out. We run actions on the ball, off the ball. We try to get Ant downhill, whatever. It doesn't matter, man. Wemby's down there. And also Cornette had some good defensive plays of just protecting the basket. When Wemby wasn't in there, there you go. Definitely going to do a whole prediction for Spurs Thunder. You don't got to worry about that one. Conference Finals in year 3 with Wemby. The guy is still on his rookie deal. Anyway, let's talk about the Wolves for a little bit. Obviously, the Dante injury and Ant's knees situations did not help. Hopefully, we see Dante next year, but I mean, it's pretty much this with the Wolves. It's taken me too long to realize this, but this is it. They're a better playoff team than regular season team. They own the Nuggets, and if they face a team that they can just physically outmatch, not only do they look better than you, they look so much better than you. But once they face a great defense, it exposes the problems they can have with their offense, which were the reasons why we were talking all season about, well, they need a point guard. And I mean, Io is not like a lead the offense point guard, but he is a guard who can take some ball handling pressure off everybody and he can make shots, right? And so while I know there's some amount of Wolves fans that just hate Chris Finch and think he's terrible, it feels like the only thing left to wonder is if they can just get a better number 2 guy than Randall. Now, they don't have many picks to move. There's a lot of uncertainty with Kawhi's future with the Clippers. Before we get back to it, this video is sponsored by SeatGeek. I saw someone say that no matter how much basketball they watch, and for how often this really doesn't happen, they still worry all the time about teams crossing the half-court line in under 8 seconds, and then I realized I feel the exact same way. And if I wanted to go to an NBA game where 8-second violations usually don't happen, then I would use SeatGeek as I have before, and it's always been good. There are over 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, like concerts, many sporting events, festivals, a bunch of things, and with over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app, and you can use my code FunkyDiabetic10 for 10% off your next order at SeatGeek. SeatGeek rates deals on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. Just look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. Make sure to click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account. One more time, FunkyDiabetic10, 10% off, SeatGeek. There's actually no games the day I'm recording this. I don't think the NBA planned on us having 2 different sweeps. Of course, they can actually prioritize a future now. I don't think that 100% kicks Kawhi out the door. I mean, we have to see what the Clippers want. What does Kawhi want? And if he really was going to change teams, like anybody would have to be willing to accept the fact that you just got to hope he's healthy. But a team like the Wolves, like, yeah, that would be just a massive talent upgrade from Randall to Kawhi. But again, health stuff, Clippers situation, I don't know. Randall's contract would be in any type of deal like that. Of course, the Wolves want to keep Jaden. No telling you'd have the best offer for whoever you want to imagine. I know they tried to get Giannis at the deadline. Given their pick situation, I can't really imagine that one, but what do I know? And then we go to Ant, who had the knee stuff in the playoffs. But year after year here, Ant has refined the edges of his game, if you will, to where he's not just an amazing talent, but also it's more threes, it's more free throws. It kind of reminds me of the way it happened for Tatum, where it's like year after year, just a little more progress towards being the most efficient you can possibly be. And I mean, this year for Ant, it was 62 true shooting. And so what do you ask for next? Do you ask for, I mean, he could go up from 79 on free throws. The obvious thing would be, does he just have this massive jump as a playmaker? I mean, we've been doing that for years with Ant. I think at this point, like, he's going to usually make the obvious pass out of double teams. Look, the Wolves half-court offense is probably never going to be as pretty, and the ball is probably never going to zip around as much as you truly want it to. But hey, with Jaden's offensive growth this year, Ant being healthy, if Dante, I mean, do we see Dante next year? I don't know. Like, if you get somebody better than Randall for the number 2 spot, like, at the least you'll have a better chance versus OKC and the Spurs. I mean, this is the 3rd best team in the West right now. They don't play like it in the regular season, but this is the 3rd best team. That's another thing, too. I mean, in the end, like, they just weren't as good as the Spurs, and also they had some bad injury luck. But hopefully, at the least next year, they just take every game of the regular season seriously. Anyway, that's enough on the Wolves. On to the Pistons and the Cavs. Hell of a response by the Pistons, man. You learn a lot about teams when it's a Game 6 on the road, with your season on the line. And I do think they just established physically, like, you got to meet us on this level, Cleveland. And of course, the turnovers, and I mean, so much of that can be thought of with Asar, right? Like deflecting it off of Mitchell early, the crazy 2-handed block, just random offensive rebounds, whatever. But really, you just see it everywhere. I mean, it's Cade staying glued to Max Strus around a screen. It's Cade pressuring Harden after a timeout. And then, like, Harden kind of gets the angle on it, but then Paul Reed's right there to meet him at the rim. They just kind of swallow him up at the basket. Now, before I say Harden, who knows how many times, and yeah, he had 8 turnovers. Donovan Mitchell was pretty bad today. So Paul Reed, there was this one stretch, it was like early second quarter. It was all like in succession where he finishes on a roll with probably Cade. It might have been Sasser, it might have been Jenkins, I don't really remember. Then he locks up Mobley at the 3-point line, makes them go to something else, and then he flies down to get the rebound, brings it up court himself. The play's kind of dead, we don't know what to do, immediately flips it to Sasser, they get a good shot, and then he takes a charge on Mobley on the other end. It's just so much energy. And then we have Duren. I mean, his best game here of various face-ups and spin moves and plays on the short roll, where it did feel like the Pistons were a bit more ready for quick little stunts from Allen up to Cade on screen actions. Like, they would run it on the wing, and it was immediately over the top to Duren, and then he either made a couple plays in the middle of the floor. I think they found Danis for 1-3 here. Asar was also getting into more DHO or screener stuff, like that set up a Danis Jenkins pull-up 3 in the corner, I remember. And then I remember this kind of disastrous stretch for the Pistons late first half where Cade had a couple of lazy turnovers. They give up a rebound on a free throw that becomes a Max Strus 3, and it's like, oh no, are they going to undo all the good stuff they did in the first half where they were pretty much the better team? And then in the third quarter, I just thought they were so intentional with their offense. Like Duncan slipping a screen for Cade, flowing immediately into a flare screen by Paul Reed to get himself an open 3. Or Cade attacking Sam Merrill on a switch, opening up another Duncan 3. I think it was Duncan. I feel like Asar beat the whole Cavs team in transition a couple of times as well. Like the Pistons, they were ready for war tonight, man. And also the threes went in. That's always nice. And so when we go to Game 7, I mean, it's not all on Donovan Mitchell, but a lot of this is on Donovan Mitchell. But he's got to bring it in Game 7. I mean, when he's got Asar on him, that's tough, of course. I mean, there is a decent chance that in Game 7 here could just boil down to Mitchell and Harden just constantly going at Tobias and Duncan and actions. I mean, they've had success with the Harden-Mobley actions because that forces Tobias to have to guard all that. And Mitchell got one of those threes in overtime off of that. But on some level, Mitchell, he's going to have to make some degree of difficult shots in this Game 7. Oh yeah, and another Game 7 James Harden. He might suck. I don't know. He was bad against the Celtics in Game 7. He was bad against the Nuggets. Raptors, I mean, obviously they won that one going away. I don't know. Should be a good time. Anything's on the table. Like maybe just Mobley helping off of Asar wins out. Maybe it's Tobias, a bunch of 11-foot jumpers. You know, it's the stuff we've been talking about this whole series. But for this Game 6, Pistons, they did what they had to do.